Hello all, my name is Young Soo Kwan, and this is presentation for Intermediate Milestone 1 for CS6460. This is the overview. I'm going to go through each of these topics. First, to give you background information, I'm doing the development track. I'm developing a web application. I'm calling it LITS, or Language Intelligent Tutoring System. The goal is to provide students with advanced resources for English learning, and it'll serve all aspects of the language, including reading, writing, and speaking. The intended target audience is international students who may be studying in colleges or high schools in America. This web application takes the advantage of existing technologies in speech to text, text to speech, as well as translation APIs through Google's cloud services. The design overview, this web application will allow the students to choose articles from various sources, including Wikipedia for semi-academic and academic information, to daily life and more like conversation in Reddit, to even religious materials such as the Holy Bible. Also, news articles from New York Times will be served to students as well if they choose to see that. When an article is served, each paragraph will have a clickable link. When clicked, it will open a pop-up box or modal box. It will show the contents of the paragraph, as well as 3 tabs, or I call them 3 modes of learning, and these are listening, speaking, and translating. The default tab, the first tab, is the listening mode. It uses responsive JS's text-to-speech technology. An article will be read aloud to the user. In the second tab, or in speaking mode, it uses browser's speech-to-text technology. Students will be able to read aloud the paragraph. It then gets converted into text, so that the text that's been read by the users will be compared to the original text, and we will calculate the metric, or sort of like a percentage score of how well the students have done in terms of similarities of the 2 texts. Finally, in translation mode, the paragraph will be translated to the user's preferred, probably native language. In settings page, users will be able to choose the voice that they like for text-to-speech. Right now it defaults to a UK female voice, but if they can choose like US male or female, whatever that they like. They can will be able to change their preferred language. Again, what this is for is that this is for translation API. When they choose to translate the text of the paragraph, it will be translated into the target language. Here are the external tools that I'm using. Google's translation API, responsive JS's text-to-speech technology, Chrome's speech-to-text, and finally, even though it's not been implemented yet, I'm going to use Open Dictionary API Alliance for providing definition for vocabulary. Here's my progress report. These are the tasks that have been done. So the first week, I was able to retrieve a Wikipedia article using Wikipedia's REST API. They have fantastic library of REST APIs that we can use to fetch an article or get random articles or do all sorts of different things. And I'm able to load a modal for the chosen paragraph, and using responsive JS's text-to-speech, it reads aloud the paragraph. During the second week, I did all the backend work, including creating databases for users and favorite articles. I also did sign up page and user authentication. This week, I was able to use the browser's native voice-to-text API to convert voice into text. And even though one of the tasks that I was supposed to finish was the using diff tool to score user speech, this has not been done because of some of the obstacles that I faced this week. So these are lessons learned. I learned that in order to utilize mic in a web browser, the web app must be served through HTTPS. I almost purchased expensive SSL from the hosting company, but after further research, I realized that Cloudflare provides excellent free universal SSL, which I'm happy to be using. Another difficulty was that I had a very hard time converting audio blob into passable JSON object, and I had to do this because in order to use Google's speech-to-text REST API, I needed to pass that as a JSON object. Later, I found a much simpler, different approach using the browser's native API. Even though older browsers cannot support it, I'm going to recommend that users use the latest browsers, such as Chrome, Firefox, or Microsoft Edge. And now I'm gonna present the working demos. The overview page. This is not the actual web app. This is more like an advertisement of the web application. So you can see here at the top of the page I have carousel, even though it's different colors, but it all has the same contents, so it's not doing much. And this is supposed to have explain the benefits of using the web app in terms of your reading, listening, and speaking. So it's not going to be difficult, but I'll have to come up with some nice way of advertising and explaining. So yeah, this is not done, but it'll be implemented in the future. And this is the actual web app. So you'll see here that it actually has, you can sign in and sign up on the same page, because I don't ask for your social security number or date of birth. All I need is your name, what language you speak, your email address, and password. So I'm gonna pretend that I don't have any previous information signed up, so I'm gonna just sign up on the fly. So my name is Test2, and I speak Korean, and my email, this can be fake email, test2.com, password 1234, and sign up. So you'll notice here that when you sign up, it actually logs you in. It also creates the user on the database. And these are 6 different sources of articles. Or no, 5, sorry. Only 2 are implemented as of now. I haven't implemented Bible, Reddit, or the New York Times. But I do have English Wikipedia and Simple Wikipedia working. So I'm going to demonstrate this to you. So clicking on English Wikipedia, it produces 5 random articles from English Wikipedia. Toward the bottom, it's supposed to have articles that you save to favorites, but it's not implemented yet. It's to be done in the future. So let me actually go to any random article. Clicking on an article, you'll see 3 buttons here. Wiki Home, Favorite, Random. So clicking on Home will take you back to the main page. Favorite button will obviously favorite this article. And what this will do is that it will save this particular URL into favorites table in the database, so that we can bring that up later on when a user wishes. Clicking on Random button will take you to a random article. So I'm going to demonstrate all these buttons. So clicking on Wiki Home will take you back to the wiki's main page. And notice here that it now has different set of random articles. So whenever you refresh the page, it produces different sets of random articles. So I'm going to let me go into any of these. Favorite. When you favorite an article, you'll get this toaster saying that it's favorited. And you'll notice here that you now have a different button. So if you wish to unfavorite an article, you just click it again, which will remove it from the table. clicking on random button will take you to a random article. This was not a good example but that's fine. We can also search for any article in English Wikipedia. Okay, you click on go, it will take you to that particular article. And if you scroll down, you'll notice here that each paragraph will have a set of play buttons attached to it in the beginning. And clicking on these buttons will open up a modal box with the contents of the paragraph displayed here. And these are the tabs or the modes of learning that I explained earlier in my presentation. The first of which is listen, the second is speak, third is translate. So when you click on listen, this will use the responsive.js's text-to-speech technology to read aloud the paragraph. So here it is.
English is a West Germanic language that was first spoken in early medieval England and is now the global lingua franca.
So as you can see, it's actually reading in British accent, and that's because I don't have the settings page. I think it should default to US accent, but that's going to be implemented in the future. So as you can see, like clicking on this
English
button
is a West
will make it read, and if you click on stop button, it'll stop. The second tab is speak, and clicking on this, it'll start recording my voice and try to convert that into text. So here it is. English is West Germanic language that was first spoken in early medieval England and is now the global lingua franca. So it tries to convert whatever you speak into the text. So then the goal is to actually compare this text that you read to the original text that was provided. And the goal is to actually give you a metric, sort of like maybe percentage score of how well you've done. Obviously, because of limitations in current technology, I don't think 100% is something that you can expect even for a native speaker. But if you get something like 80 to 90%, that should be really good. Finally, in Translate tab, when you click on this Translate button, it will translate this entire paragraph into the target language. And this actually translated this English paragraph into Korean paragraph. Unfortunately, I don't have the settings implemented, which means that it will always translate to Korean for now. But the goal is to have the user pick the native language, and then when they click on this translate button, it will translate into the target language. So this has been my working demo. If you have any question, comments, or feedbacks, you're welcome to leave them at the feedback website. And if it's a question I can answer, I'll be more than happy to answer. I guess that's it. Goodbye.